Alright guys, this is day 4 of my Teach Yourself to Trade this new SPY system, and so today is the first day that I'm upping the difficulty complexity. So the first 3 days were about me just walking the charts through one bar at a time and marking down results. This time I'm going to increase the complexity and I'm going to start putting in all the entries. So I've got a new spreadsheet which I haven't used before, so this is going to be kind of weird, and hopefully this will all work here. So I put in the bar, the setup, buy or sell, entry, stop loss, ticks and size. I've got a 1R and a 3R exit marked in, entry fill, and period 1, period 2, period 3 and period 4 I mark in. So let's see how it goes. So what I've done here is I'm in trading view using bar replay mode. And actually, I might as well go back to the beginning and show you how this works. Let's exit bar replay mode. Okay, so to go to bar replay, you click on bar replay mode up here, and then you put the red line to where you want to start, and this is the last bar of last session. And let's make it a little bit bigger. And then I hit play, and you've got a speed here. This is one bar every 5 seconds, so I'm going to have to pause it. So we are live, and that bar is going to update. Oh, this is the last bar of the last day. Okay, so this is the first bar of the new day. What do we have? We have a hammer candle, which is not a long setup, but it is a short setup if we break the low of this bar, and it is a gap open sell setup if we break the low of this bar. So I'm going to place the order now. We have a low of 274.21. Okay, so what I did here is that is formatted wrong, but it should be bar number 1. Set up as a failed hammer and a gap open. Is it a buy or a sell? It's a sell. The entry and the stop loss, and we have an 81 tick range, and our size is 2. Okay, so this is the calculation that it does for that. Okay, now if we break the low and that bar is filled, I'll whack in the entry fill there. Otherwise, I'll just ignore it. And let's put this on play again. In 5 seconds, that should paint the next bar. And if we break the low here, which we do not, we are going to have a sell setup. So that sell setup is cancelled and invalid. So if I was trading this live, I would cancel the order at this point. Now we ask ourselves, do I have a long setup and do I have a short setup? So do I have a short setup? I do not have a short setup. Let me just check. So the close here is 274.97 and the open is 274.95. That is not a gap open. This is a failed shooting star. If we break the high of here, I will be long. So let me just put that into the spreadsheet. Okay, so you can see here, bar 2, we've got a failed shooting star, a buy. We put in the entry and the stop loss. Our ticks are 40 ticks, and our size is 4. Now let's go through one more bar and see if it fills. So I hit play again. And the next bar will come up. If it breaks the high of this bar, we are long. Okay, it did not break the high of this bar, so we are not long, and there was no sell setup, so we're not short. Now if we look at here, the low of this bar is not a spike low. So we have So the close here is 275.03 and the open here is 275.05. So because the open is slightly above the previous close, we have a potential exhaustion of buying pressure here. So this is a gap open sell setup. If we break the low here with a stop here, we will be short. Okay, so let me put, okay, so I filled out bar number 3 here. You can see we have a gap open real body, it's a sell. I have put in 1 tick above the bar low as the entry and 1 tick above the bar high as the stop. That gives us an 89 tick wide range. So our size is 2. Now let's see if this bad boy filled. Come on. Alright. So our short setup is filled. We have a stop here, we have an entry price here, we are short. Do we have a buy setup? So our close here is 274.40 and our open is 274.40. We do not have a buy setup. We are short. This is period 1. We put this in. This is our first fill of the day. So let's assume that we got a fill with one tick of slippage, 274.20, and our period 1 close is 274.03. So I put it in here in P1 274.03. Okay, now if we look here on the spreadsheet, we can say that 27.331 is our 1R. So that gives us, we have 3 bars to make 1R, which is, it has to hit here is where we are taking partial profit. We're taking partial profit at 1R, and if it has not made 1R in 3 bars, and this is bar number 1, then we will exit this trade, win, lose, or draw. So let's start it up again. We hit play. Here we go. Okay, bar 2. Okay, so let's enter that bar in. So bar 2, the close is 274.28. Is it a buy or is it a sell setup? It is both a buy and a sell setup. It is an inside period sell, which we cannot take. It is a retest variation sell, which we cannot take because we're already short. There's no reason to take a short trade when we're already short. But if we break the high, we will be long. So let me just enter this bad boy in bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bar 5 is an inside period buy, and that would be 274.37 and 273.78. 274.37 and 273.38. Okay. No, that's not right. 273.8, 273.78. Okay, so our range on the long setup is 59 ticks. We have a size of 2. So far, you can see that we've had 3 potential entries where we've placed orders, but only one of those has been filled, and that's entirely normal. So what this, some of the rationale for using this system is that you're placing so many orders, both long and short. You're completely desensitizing yourself to the idea that, oh, this one has to work, I really hope it works. You're just placing orders over so many orders that you're just going to give up on that idea of trying to guess market direction. Okay, so the next bar, we do not have a fill. We have made 1R, so we have banked partial profits. and we initiate either a trailing stop or a break-even stop, whichever is better. Now, our entry point is the low of this bar, which is 274.20, and our trailing stop would be above the high of this bar, which is 274.31. So in this instance, the trailing stop here would not be as good as break even, so we will place our stop at break even, which is here. So we've moved our stop from here to here after bar 3, and the close. Okay, so here I've put in period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4 plus exits. Okay, so right now we've got a break-even stop. Do we have a long setup? Yes, we do have a long setup. If it breaks the high of this bar, we will be long with a stop underneath, but given my experience, I know that this is like a 1 in 100 chance of filling, and I would, in the real world, I would never bother to enter that order, given that it's almost impossible for it to be filled. And let's just prove me wrong now and hit play and make sure that I'm not being an idiot. Okay, so here we move our stop to the trail, and I'll pause it again, and now our stop is at its trail again. Okay, so each bar we move it down to the previous bar's high. Now, do we have a long setup? We have, this is a spike low, this is the first bar to break that spike low, so we have a fake out hammer buy setup, and also it looks like the close here is 272.36 and the open is 274.32. So we have a micro gap down, which after a big move is a sign of exhaustion. So if we break the high of here, we will be long. So let me put this in. So this is bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so this is bar number 8. Okay, so I put in this trade here. So out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades, 5 orders that we've placed today, only one has been filled so far. And now let's see if this one fills. So I'll hit play again. Alright, so we have a fill. Now, our short trade is exited, our long trade is entered. So we need to enter in a fill for the long trade. So let's assume no slippage, or 1 ticket slippage, 272.57. Okay, so this is very important for you to see. Let me just view zoom. Okay, so here, what I want to point out is that having spreadsheets to do the heavy lifting for you makes it much easier to mess up. Okay, so like I said, having the spreadsheet do the heavy lifting makes it much easier to mess up. So if we go back here, we can see that we have a size of 2 and our partial profit exit was at 1R. We have the 1R written down here. So here we have, we write down the 1R in here, and then our second exit was when the trailing stop was hit here. So the spreadsheet does the complete calculation, works out that overall we got a half an R from the first trade and 0.92R from the second half of the trade. So it's a total of 1.42R from our first trade, and we're in the we're in the second trade now, and let's see how it goes. Alright, so I'm going to hit play again. We are long. Do we have a short setup? We do not. So there's no reason to place short orders. Okay, come on. Alright. So what do we have here? We have another long setup if we break the high. We have a short failed shooting star setup if we break the low, and we will place our stop here at the close by spike high. So I'm going to enter that in, even though it's unlikely to be. Okay, so I have my bar 9. Ignore the date there. That should just be formatted as bar. I'll fix it up later. We have a failed shooting star sell setup. I've got the buy-ins. I've got the entry and then the ISL or initial stop loss. The spreadsheet fills out the ticks, the size, the 1R and the 3R for me. Now, the thing that I want to point out is that this is also a retest variation buy setup, but we cannot take it, so we can't enter the order in because we're not at 1R. Okay, so let's hit play. We'll see what happens. All right. So, our long trade is stopped out. We have a 1R loss. Our short trade is entered. So let me enter that in the spreadsheet now, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so over here, we lost on both our SPYs at a price of the initial stop loss, which is 27,178, and we are entered. We have an entry fill of 27,195 on our failed shooting star. So our first trade we have 1.42R. Our second trade we lost 1R. Now our third trade we are in now, and we are short, and I need to enter in the P1. So the P1 value is 271.98. Okay, so I hope you can see that this is a very mechanical process. There's so much to do that there's literally no time for I wonder if it's going up or down, or I'm a bull, I'm a bear, I'm a wanker. You know, there's just no time for that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bars in. I'm going to pause it there, but because I want to fill out the amount, I want to just go through until I see what the result for that trade is. So I'm going to move that forward. So we have period 2. Period 2, we do not have a buy set up because this one broke the previous low, so it's not a fake out buy. Here, this is period 3, 1, 2, 3, and we have not made 1R, so we exit that trade at close. Now the close here is 271.90, so we whack that in, and our size is 2. Okay, so we made 5 ticks or 0.05R, and so for the day we were up 0.47 of an R. Not bad, not terrible, not anything really, but my point is that how much trading did we do? We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bars. That's 130 minutes. That's a bit over 2 hours of trading. So we did 2 hours of trading. We did that quite quickly. We did it in a bar replay mode, and bar replay is a really useful technique for gamifying this. So what I mean by gamifying is that it makes it like a video game. You can speed this up to 10, 20 times the speed eventually, and you can really develop some sort of like super skill, and that way when you go back to trading at normal skill, it all just seems like slow motion. Okay guys, I'll continue on with